We are live at Allen Fieldhouse in Kansas. Tonight's CS-featured matchup in prime time. Well, quasi-prime time. It's 10:30. We're running a little late here tonight, but Kentucky, UK, taking on KU of Kansas. It's a game of K's. Joining me in the booth, a man that's got a name. At the end of his name is got a K. What's up, Rylock?
Living. Boy, that CSBA jet is fast.
I was going to say, how did you like that, man? That was like supersonic.
It is luxury, let me tell you.
You didn't even have a time to get a shut-eye, though.
Didn't have time to get a drink. I'm glad I grabbed it during the box score.
All right, what are you looking forward to? Obviously, both these, we got Kentucky, who by the coaches poll, a little bit overlooked. They were in the national championship game last year, ranked 20 coming in. Kansas obviously is always Kansas and always strong. They're pretty high ranked as well, if I remember correctly.
I think that since I don't get a voice in the coaches poll, I can just share my opinion.
No, I don't either. So don't worry about it. Go for it.
But Kentucky, I think that the big challenge for them is not that they didn't prove they can do it. It's just that on paper, we're not sure how they're going to look yet. Oatmeal has a huge shoes to fill for the departed Jordan Maxwell, and so we're trying to see how this is going to retool. Coach Ant Thomas deserves all the respect in the world for the run he put together to get to the Natty, but we just don't know how it's going to look this season.
Yeah, for sure. Shaquille O'Neal, I'm loving getting the starting nod here, so he's getting thrown right into the fire.
Yep, it's a big Quaker.
Obviously, 4 of the other 5 players out there are starters from last season's squad, so we'll see how the big Quaker handles himself in the starting role.
Yeah. And then for Kansas, it's kind of just business as usual. We've got the usual suspects of Leak, CJ Green, and Jay Duncan. I had to remember which one was which.
I know. He literally changed one letter in the entire game.
Right.
Just to keep us on our toes.
But that was a great 3 there by Savage, but unfortunately it didn't fall. But I'm interested to see who else is going to step up. We know those 3 are the cream of the CSBA crop. We need to see who's going to fill it out and step up. They lost Jim Carr, they lost BB Quattro. They've got big shoes to fill. How's it going to be?
Is that player right there going to step up this season? Thought about entering the transfer portal, decided to come back. Carl Johnson back on KU, actually in a starting role here in preseason, so as weird as we get Kentucky's first points in the game.
I mean, there was some big rumors swirling around that Carl Johnson was headed to Arizona State, but it turns out that didn't end up coming to pass.
No, not at all, but I know he liked it. I know he enjoyed his time here, so
yeah.
But we pass down court to find the big Quaker for
great ball movement there
for 2 points, so that cuts the lead to 2. Friday Night Hoops, CJ Green drives. Ant Thomas so far struggling defensively against Green. Green's got 4 of the 8 so far here for KU. And this is a guy right here dribbling the ball that I'm expecting big things from this season. Savage.
Yeah, I definitely want to see Savage elevate his game this season. I'm saying that this season is going to be Savage and Ant Thomas going off with maybe some Marcus Carter in for spice. I think at this point Kobe's kind of had his season and he's going to try and get it there, but I think a lot of the time people are going to key in on him a lot more, and it's harder to get going when you know that that's the guy you need to stop.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we've seen guys like Jim Carr, a similar type of player, very good spot-up three-point shooter, but we've seen him go off, and then we've seen him games where he's just completely shut down. So,
yep.
If you're scouting the Thuggy team, you're gonna probably be looking to shut down Wiersman if you could do that. Someone else has to step up, and there's a guy right there driving to the lane. He's gonna be a guy to be looked upon a lot.
There is often talk about the foul merchants in the league, and his name comes up a lot.
Yes, sir. Savage hits the first, cuts the lead to 3. Shout out to everybody hanging with us here late Friday night. Sorry for the late start. Just early tech problems in the first game set us a little bit behind, but we are rolling strong like CSBA does. So appreciate.
We are nothing if not adaptable.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you staying up late night and helping us out, and for everybody tuning in, welcome to the stream. Green gonna go post up Thomas, who has yet to figure out a way to stop Green, as Green has scored on every possession he's touched the ball when shooting. So,
I mean, that's unlikely to continue this game, but it might, and that would be exciting.
Oh, we've seen some guys have some perfect games.
Yeah,
it doesn't happen a lot, but we have seen it.
It's fairly rare when you've got a guy who's got a lot of volume going, is all I'm saying.
Oh, he's got 8 right now, so. Kentucky's got 8, CJ Green 8, according to the graphic. Yep. 8-14-8. Now, Thomas has got to make him expend some energy. Maybe he'll help him on the defensive side of things if he can get Green tired. But standing around not doing much ain't going to help the cause. They switch now. Thomas with Johnson on him. He fires up no good. Leak up the rebound. He looks to push. Here comes KU the other way.
That's when you don't hear very often Leak with the rebound.
Bad pass there from Green as he didn't want to. Well, he didn't want to mess up his shot because it looked like he was going to get contended at the rim. So.
And he tried for a bailout pass and just kind of like bounced one funny.
Tez says he's going for the MVP this season. We'll see.
I mean, it's looking good so far.
Fazzo for 3, no good as that rattles in and out. Williams up with the rebound. Shooter Kip. One of my favorite names this season. Backdoor alley-oop to Thompson. Usually in the starting position, coming off the bench for KU this season. At least in this preseason game anyway.
Mm-hmm. And this is going to be an exciting one for the Kentucky faithful. They've got a lot of names on this squad to learn anew. We've got Lyle returning, but a lot of turnover with the rest of the squad. Excuse me, UK if I said KU.
I know, it's like UK, UKU, I do it all the time.
Yeah, like between Fazzo and Copeland, and there's lots of new faces out there.
Copeland, interesting, you know, I think he might fit in well with this bench unit. Rocket Webb now. With the ball, a little ISO play here for Webb. Hands it over back to Copeland. Copeland back to Fazzo. He spins, drives the lane. Gets fouled on the play by Aaron Mohan. So Bo Fazzo to the line to shoot too.
Bo Fazzo is just a really strong name. I love it.
It's amazing how I remember some of these guys' names, and some of them I just cannot for the life of me remember their first names.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's just, have I ever seen this player before, whether I made it or not?
Well, I've made all of them, so I should know. I should know all of them, but every once in a while I forget. Especially when guys have the same names. Free throw up ain't good, so cuts it back to 6. $16 people in the stream. Where are you at, CSBA? You guys aren't out at the club. You should be home watching CSBA. Come on, Mal.
I mean, most of these people are too young to be out at the club.
Yeah, that's true. Kip, pull-up jumper. That's good as he knocks that down. Shooter Kip.
I mean, it's a great look for Kansas. Again, they've got a lot of star power in that starting squad right now, and it's going to be interesting to see how this bench unit runs.
And Mike Streamlabs just updated regularly, as you guys said, 28. It went to 28. But yeah, I mean, it's just looking at these squads here. Obviously, a little bit different looks from both these teams. A little interesting mix-up of the rosters. Blackwood in the lane, no good. I feel it's weird, like when you see teams that you're just so used to or accustomed to seeing them be powerhouses, and when they add new players, I don't know, it just feels weird. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because you're just so used to seeing the same players that maybe, you know, I've called so many Kansas games, like I feel like, you know, when I'm like, okay, Who is that again?
Yeah, but I mean, that's also part of the joy of it, in my opinion, is
Oh,
seeing
absolutely.
these guys step up and fill in the roles, because we don't have a big name like BB Quattro or Jim Carr right now that came in the transfer portal. Kansas has a chance to grow a couple new ones of their own.
Yeah, I mean, I like that too. Right? I like the homegrown talent. It's always good. Love when new nicknames and things have kind of pop out of the woodwork. I think I every time Tommy Guns came in last night, I was like, "Guns it, sun's out, guns out."
Yep.
So little things like that add to the fun of the league. And
yeah, I mean, honestly, I just kind of enjoy the difference between different booths as well. It is a much different experience calling with Pax. With Pax versus with Dickie versus with you. Like, it was super laid back and chill, and we were just talking all kinds of things. And now we're a little more formal, a little more dad joke.
Hey, listen, I can go. It depends on the game, man. It depends.
Yeah.
I'm dad joke. I'm formal. I am laid back. It just depends on the game, and but I have fun either way.
Oh, for sure. We always have fun. That's why we do it.
Yes, sir. I'm interested to see, the identity of these two teams. Obviously, with some of the players changing, Lyle missing the deep three there, shot clock one and down. UK is yet to find any kind of rhythm in this game, but KU looking a little bit more polished so far, at least.
Right. Well, I think that KU has a little bit more of the identity that they had intact. Kentucky's identity was predominantly their starters, I think, and that's still there. It's just the bench unit needs to find themselves.
Yeah, for sure, and that takes time, and that takes a lot of the season for that to develop too. So that's a good point.
Yeah.
22-12, end of one first quarter. You're watching Csba on Twitch, Rebecca. All right, we are back here at Allen Fieldhouse, James Naismith Court. Maybe just looking back now, maybe it was the coach's poll that was down on Kentucky being 20th, and maybe they looked at their bench unit and said, okay, this is going to be a completely different team. Well, let's not write them up so high early on.
I mean, I think that if they had a little different time in recruiting, that if we knew some of these names, there might have been differences.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
We're waiting to see it. And I think the biggest shout out that I can give so far this preseason is Auburn. That they were talking all kinds of things in league chat, saying that they were going to be good, and I always was of the opinion, I believe you, but show me.
Right,
and they came out here and they did. They took on OK State and made a big statement.
Yeah, that was a good game between those two teams, and especially with all the hype that was around OK State coming in too. So,
right. So this is one of those where preseason polls don't mean much. Get out there and show us, and let the actions take word.
Yeah, that's fair.
Do more than words. Yeah,
that's completely fair. Mohan floater in the lane, no good. Kansas tried to keep that alive, and the seas part for Bo Faso when he lays that in.
I mean, Faso has definitely looked like the spark of this bench unit so far for Kentucky, so they may look to lean on him more going forward.
Tez sandbagging as always.
I mean, that's how he lives his life.
Rebuilding what?
I mean, I said there's no time for rebuilding, only reloading.
There you go. Thompson with a nice move. That's a guy that in the last season I really felt like he had some high points during the season. If he could be a little bit more consistent like we've seen in this game, you can see good things from him.
Yeah, I was expecting to see Thompson take a step forward, but between him and Carl Johnson, it just neither of them really managed to differentiate themselves, and Jay Duncan just kind of took the lead role in the bigs.
And Matthew Lyle with the 3 there. That's good. Bang. So that's a 5-point KU lead. Substitutions ready to come in here once we get a whistle. Thompson defender all over him. Rocket Webb up with the rebound. Quick outlet pass to Copeland. Copeland not really pushing the issue here. Gonna set it up. Nice backdoor alley-oop to Rocket Webb.
Great roll there by Webb to get open, and good vision by Copeland to see it and get it done.
Timeout on the court. I mean, I felt like that play was a lull you to sleep play, and Webb slipped back door for the alley-oop. So,
I mean, I watched him go the whole way. I knew it was coming, and I was like, "Are they gonna get it?" And he did, and I was like, "Yeah." That's the joy of being in the booth for 8 games this week, is that like you get to see it and you get to know how it's gonna go even as it's going.
Yep, for sure. You know, Ty White and I used to joke. It's like and you know it because you see the games enough to know it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Ooh, that's an interesting little finger roll by Carl Johnson from like almost the Big 12 logo on the court.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Kentucky got away with a good double team there, almost made him pay for it, but Kansas was able to find a way to make it work.
Woohoo! CJ Green!
I mean, using that length to say no to Ant Thomas there.
Wow. He was beat. That was a great defensive play. Could come back there. Way to chase him down. Oatmeal's taking his sweet time getting the ball in here, and knocks it over to Wiersma. Wiersma going to step back, hand it over to Savage. Savage getting a little bit of room by Johnson. Would be surprised if he
too much room.
Instead, he goes the other side to Marcus Carter, who can't connect on 3. Ellington trying to beat 2 Kentucky defenders. They force him to put it up in the lane. No good. Wiersma to Savage. Savage been given a lot of respect from beyond that arc, and surprised he has not jacked it up. Thomas, though, feeling it.
Yeah, I agree. If I was expecting Savage to have taken both those shots. I would like to see him get in the gym and work on his ability to stretch that floor.
I don't think he needs to. I think it's more the playbook or what Kentucky runs. If I'm going to be completely honest, because having coached Mr. Savage myself, I know what he's capable of.
Makes sense. Well, regardless, it's even if it's just watching tape and getting it right, something
for sure.
needs to change.
That's a fair point.
A willingness to pull that trigger.
You know, the one thing I learned coaching is that sometimes square pegs don't fit in round holes, so you just got to be able to figure out. You know, when you're playing a certain group of guys together, and there it is.
There it is. Yeah, exactly that.
He's capable of that, and I've seen him do it on so many occasions. But
apparently, it just wasn't in the right spot. The wind wasn't right. Yeah.
Or it's like, you know what? You're not going to call my number. I'm going to call my own.
Yeah, it might have been, but that was the perfect take regardless.
Green again in the low post. He is giving Ant Thomas fits in the low post.
Well, I mean, that's honestly because it's an exceedingly tough matchup for Ant Thomas. You've got a power forward playing down and just playing bully ball.
Yes, sir. Carter going to drive. What a drive by Carter, almost finishing at the rim. Yeah.
It might be different if it was Savage that was being asked to protect against that, but just they're using that big lineup of theirs with the 2 centers to abuse poor Ant Thomas, and like he's not a wilting flower by any stretch. He's one of the best in the league, but that's just a tall ask.
Look at you digging deep in the bag for the wilting flower comments.
I mean, I've got a vocabulary.
I know you do. I know you do, and I love it when you do. I just was not expecting you to say wilting flower at 10:49 Eastern Time. Carter trying to get all sorts of picks there. They go to Wiersma on the other side. Bang! He can fill it up from out there.
I mean, definitely can. When he's hot, but again, I don't know how often he's able to get himself hot.
Backdoor alley-oop to Jay Duncan. See, I did it right there, too.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point it really doesn't matter. He's still going by Jar in the Discord, so, like, if he could have gotten Jar and just done it again, he would have.
Should have just Jar Jr.
Yeah, I mean, chose not to.
I think that's his name. I think isn't that his name in Discord too? Isn't it like Jar Jr. or something like that?
Dr. Jar.
Dr. Jar. Okay, maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Carl Johnson. Johnson's been a little. This is the most active I've seen him in the offense.
I mean, I think they kind of go interchangeably back and forth between Carl Johnson and Thompson. That one of them's loud, one of them's quiet, and I think that Thompson got a lot of it last season, but it might be It might be Percy's time now.
Yeah, for sure. Marcus Carter from the Chiefs seats drills that 3, cuts it back to 4. A lot of fight in this Kentucky team. They're not rolling over here, which is a good sign.
Yep. I mean, we've had a lot of games that have had a deficit in the first that gets closed for a tight finish, so.
I think Ant Thomas is wishing that matchup was against somebody else, as he's just continue to get beat by like a rag doll right now in the low post. Good pass inside to Savage. Good find by Ant Thomas, though.
Yeah, I mean, Savage is definitely going to be a big weapon when his number is called. It's just that he's patient and willing to make things work.
I think he needs to yell at the coach and say, "Coach, get me the rock more. I can do a lot. I can give you a lot more than what you're giving me the opportunity to do."
I mean, I think that's kind of on the coach, and given the run he had last season, it's hard to question it. But
no, I won't question. There it is. That's what I'm telling you. He can shoot the 3.
Right. You and I know, but again, it's he just needs his number called.
Good pass to Jay Duncan again. The bigs are just killing Kentucky right now. They are absolutely murdering them. Whether it's on the pick and roll or it's just set the guy up in the low post, it is lights out in the paint for KU.
Yeah.
Thomas going to fire it up here to end the half and misses. So 42-37. Kansas up by 5 at the half. Mr. Rylock going to break us down here at the half, but it's been a good first half for both these squads.
Absolutely. I mean, honestly, in a lot of ways, Kentucky's got to be pretty happy with this outcome. That it was looking a little bleak in the first, but they've managed to pull it back close with some good play. They need to figure out an answer for CJ Green and for Carl Johnson and Jay Duncan, but there's time to get those adjustments in. I'm sure that there's going to be lots of inspiration coming from Coach Ant, and we'll see how it goes in the second half.
Yeah, I think Kenny Smith was raising his hand and wanted to talk there.
We don't have time for Kenny.
By the way, every time I call a game with you, I feel like Shaq is wearing some sort of pink.
I mean, I think Shaq is wearing some kind of pink always. It's not the terrible 4-week-old salmon that he was wearing earlier, though.
Yeah, I heard you make that comment. That was funny. Great first half from both these squads. CJ Green obviously eating right now. We see Tim Savage stepping it up, helping Kentucky. But Kansas just continues to shoot lights out. At one point, they were 90% in the first quarter, so still shooting at a very high clip. Kentucky's going to need to do a better job defensively in the second half if they want to not get shot down by Shaq's finger guns there.
Yeah, and Percy does raise a good point. Of course, he's playing an enormous game in the preseason when it doesn't count. This is the time he's going to drop the CSBA's first triple-double because it doesn't actually count.
It won't mean anything.
Exactly.
It's preseason. It means nothing.
Uh-huh. But it is a lot of good momentum.
Just ask Syracuse, who lost by 40-something points. It means nothing.
Yeah. Ask us. We played Arizona. We did not win that game, but we aren't too worried about our outlook for week 1.
I don't think you should be. Ellington for a deep 2 extends to 7.
Again, I just wish that people would make sure they know where their feet are, because if you're going to take that deep a 2, you might as well try and make it a 3.
Yeah, for sure. Thomas fouled by Green. His team's first, so Thomas to the line to shoot 2. Yeah, this in the past we ran preseason tournaments, but it ended up just extending the season really, really long, and then by mid-season activity would go down, so we kind of cut preseason to 1. especially since the postseason is so long. So I do miss the preseason tournaments. I just know that it just was taxing. You know, mid-season, everybody was feeling it, even the streamers. So 44-39 as Thomas makes both back to 5. Foul by Carter on Jay Duncan, so Duncan's on the line and shoot 2. Good extra effort from Duncan there, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, these bigs continue to eat. The 3, 4, and 5 for this Kansas squad have been a problem, and Kentucky needs to make the adjustments to try and stay in it.
Sports Dude, I think you're in every freaking stream, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate the support. I love your enthusiasm. Keep it up, my friend.
Yep, I mean, I'm pretty sure every game I've called he's been in here cheering it on, so I love it.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen the same. Thomas high off the glass as he falls to the ground.
I think he wanted a foul for that one, but he's not going to get it.
I think he probably would have liked an N1 moment there.
Yeah. I mean, I think he sold it hard enough.
KU just continues to go to the well. CJ Green is just eating in a low post. Good find by Ellington.
Yeah, I mean, it is going to be interesting. You're going to have to, if you're playing Kansas, you're going to have to figure out an answer for this.
Wiersma attacks the rim, lays that in.
I mean, that was a nice play by Colby. Usually he's more of a perimeter shooter, so it's good to see that he's got that in his bag as well.
Yeah, he'll occasionally break it down and bring it to the rim, but... Oh, CJ Green gets stuffed by the rim. It's not Ant Thomas. It's the rim. And Thomas will show you how it gets done.
Ant Thomas will take it, whether he needed help from the rim or not.
He looks like he was a little pissed. He punched the stanchion afterwards.
I mean, he's had a rough game out there. I would have some feelings too.
Willie Leak for 3. Bang!
Did they give him a 3 on that one?
They did give him a 3. Announcer,
I hate these lines.
Yeah, I know. It's so annoying. It's frustrating as all hell. I'm not going to lie.
I was like, that one didn't look like a 3, but the other one that looked like a 3,
I stopped watching where they're standing and I look at the referee. Because that's just what I've learned.
That makes sense. I don't look at the referee ever. It's just literally how did the points go up?
Yeah, no, I was telling Katie, if you watch the referee, he'll point to the side with 2 fingers out as Thomas puts it up deep. When he's right on the line. If he puts his arm up in the air, it's usually for a 3. So
interesting.
It's 2 different. If you watch, once you see it once or twice, you don't miss it after that. At least anyway for me, I don't know. Johnson not able to capitalize on the baseline jumper there. Quick outlet pass to Thompson. The defense by Kansas getting back by Ellington. Now getting over to Savage for 3. Bang!
There you go. Get that man involved.
He's got 3 from beyond the arc tonight.
Yep. Give him 3 more.
I think he's 3 of 4. Leak trying to work over Carter. Floater in the lane with Carter in his face. No good. Savage up with the rebound. He looks to push. Sees Park goes right by Carl Johnson. Counted and 1. A bad foul from Johnson.
And Savage is feeling that one, and rightly so. Chance to give him the first lead in a long minute.
Yeah, we talked a lot about it as Kentucky ties the score now. Savage going to go to the line and shoot 1, but he's been activated, so we'll see if he stays on the court a little bit longer.
Should get some extra minutes here.
Did miss the free throw there as the score is tied, not the tie is scored. I
mean, the feet are on the crowd, or whatever Dickie said.
Yes, I heard. The feet are on the crowd.
Yep.
Nice little acrobatic shot there by Williams. Fazo pull-up jumper, no good. Thompson up with the rebound. Quick. Oh, it's a dangerous bounce pass to Williams.
Yeah, I think this may work against Kentucky's favor. It looks like Savage, despite the fact that he's feeling himself, might be a little tired.
Yeah, for sure. Was that Jafari Blackwood that just scored that?
Might have been.
Williams going to get the ball over to Fazo. Savage trying to work off the defender there. Now he rolls to the basket on the pick and roll. He's got the size mismatch in the low post. They get it to him. Gets it out to Bo. Fazo for three. Oh, back rim, no good.
Again, I love the take, even if that one didn't go.
I like the in and out game. That's one of my favorites when guys do that. They recognize the double team and kick it out.
Yep. I'm always a fan of good ball movement, whether it's the tic-tac-toe or the in and out. Like, just get something there, make something happen, open up opportunities.
Yeah, for sure. Quick outlet pass to Copeland, hands it off to Lyle. They're going to set up the Savage, who drives. Wild shot, can't get it to go. Good defense by Thompson. Savage looking a little gassed out there right now.
Yeah, I would take a timeout if I'm Kentucky just to give him a chance to sit down so you don't throw your rotation even further out.
Shoot a kip now. Going to get a screen. Off ball, pull up from the elbow. That is no good. As Fazo up with a rebound.
Heck, I might even just throw a foul to let him sit down at this point.
Fazo going to go to the other side. Goes to the right hand. Nice little move with a little flex after he put that in. So Kentucky having the better shooting half than Kansas despite the hot start by KU.
Those runners are always a little scary to watch.
Fazo. Lyle going to get a clean look here. Shots up for three. Bang!
There's
Matthew
a Kentucky
Lyle.
lead.
First lead
Their
of the
first
night.
lead
Look at
tonight.
that.
Yep.
So 57-56. Rocket Webb getting set to check in here probably for Savage.
Yeah, well, Savage is long overdue.
Little left hand. Nice little move in the low post there with the left hand. That's good. Back
I mean,
to a 1 point.
had a huge mismatch, so... Apparently they just want to run Savage into the ground here. No timeout at all.
I heard he came into training camp a little overweight.
It must be. He's paying for it now.
They want to run off the LBs.
I mean, at a certain point, you must have done something to the coach's daughter or something, because, like, that's almost feeling personal now.
Oof. Well, Matthew Lyles looked good off the bench, too. He's provided a nice little spark for Kentucky. Williams drives off the rim, no good. Copeland up with the rebound. Quick outlet pass to Fazo. 2-on-1, developing. Fazo pull-up jumper, that's good.
Managed to freeze the defender between them.
I feel like this is what Kentucky did last year. They'd start off almost every game slow, and as the third quarter and fourth quarter came around, they would find their rhythm. And it was weird.
Oh. I can attest that wasn't the case in March Madness, but they came out and Colby killed us with a million threes, and then they barely held it off to take that win. Huge game for them, big win.
Yeah, they played well in March Madness. It was fun to watch their run. Thompson fadeaway jumper, good. So now they trail by one with 22 seconds to go here in the third. 29 in the stream. Appreciate you CSBAers hanging out with us late night on a Friday night.
But Savage finally got to sit himself down. He's going to be gone for a couple minutes, I imagine.
Oh, yeah. Fazo going to spot up for three. That's good. Bang! A big three by Mo.
Lots of momentum here going into the fourth.
Kip gets it away. No good. It would have counted if it would have went. But at the end of three, UK up on KU by 4. Fourth quarter coming your way. Get those fours up in stream chat. We appreciate you, CSBA. Fourth quarter coming your way. All right, welcome back, Allen Fieldhouse. Kansas Jayhawks up. Excuse me, Kentucky up on Kansas, rather. Sorry, apologies.
Yep.
Nice little backdoor alley-oop to Rocket Webb. That was actually one of the nicer passes in the game.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Again, I always like it when it's a lob or an oop or any of those, but sometimes they're not quite at that caliber. This was a good one.
For sure, yeah, that was one of the better ones we've seen tonight. Just shout out to Letty Lyons. I don't get to see you that much anymore, my friend. I know you're not as active in Discord, but good to see you in the stream, my friend. Thompson, very impressive player. Good to see you, buddy.
Always good to have the old friends join us once again.
Lyle with an ill-advised fadeaway 3 from the Jayhawk logo.
I mean, sometimes you just gotta feel it, I guess.
Well, I think that was a heat check moment for me. He had hit his last 3 or 4 shots part of that. So,
I mean, again, I don't tell people what shots to take, but I wish I could.
Nice find to find Williams underneath, cutting to the rim. Well, it's good to see you, my friend. 64-62, pass inside to Rocket Webb. Probably going to see some extended minutes.
That might honestly be to Kentucky's advantage here. That'll give them a little more size for an extra couple moments.
Thompson with a beautiful block. Good help defense by Leonard Thompson. Mohan going to get it over to Kip. They're going to set up in the low post. Thompson can eat here again. He's got the smaller defender on him and Matthew Lyle, and takes advantage as the bigs just continue to eat down low.
Yep, 10 points in the paint. Exactly what you'd expect from him. He definitely has the range to do some damage from further back, but in this kind of game, you don't need him to. Let him have those high percentage shots.
Lyle going to get it. The benefit of the screen going to go inside to Pope. Donnell Pope not able to capitalize. Got to make those, young buck. Aaron Mohan drives, can't get his first to go. Gets fouled on the second by Bo Fazo. First foul.
I think that was an ill-advised foul at this point. You kind of want to keep those Kansas starters off the court as long as you can, and this foul is going to let them in.
Yeah, I was just looking at that foul from the other angle, man. That did not look like a foul. It's a benefit. Preseason for these refs too, I guess.
Or just a home court call, like one of the boosters has a favorite call in.
He's got the little cash machine that shoots out dollar bills, fires it at the refs. Sorry, dad joke. I know you hate my dad jokes.
I do not, but that one wasn't familiar, so I didn't have a witty comeback.
A little stretch on my part, but. It's a 2-point advantage for KU. 5:54 to go.
Plenty of time here for both squads.
Wiersma throws it up with the left-hander. That's good in the lane. It's tie score.
I mean, that's the answer, is if the bigs are getting a tough time of it, you need the guards to step up.
What's up, Crispy? Welcome to the stream, my friend.
We've had some Crispy around, but good to see in this one.
Yeah, I haven't seen him much. Nice defense there by the big Quaker. Quick outlet pass. Carter spots up for 3, feeling it, no good.
Great take, though. I want you taking those every night.
Mohan up off the glass and good. Ed Thomas just being beaten like a rented mule tonight.
I mean, Mohan looks like he's maybe taking a step forward for this Kansas squad.
A hell of a find to find Wiersma back door. No, I agree with you. Mohan, yeah. I saw at the tail end of last season was really stepping up as well.
He's been more of a role player, but it's good to see him finally growing into his own here.
Good defense by Oatmeal. Gets a hand in 3-on-1. They can take advantage here. Thomas finishing at the rim.
I think he slowed that one down just to keep the contact and hope that the ref might blow that whistle.
Yeah, they're not getting that hometown call on those.
Nah, not on that one, apparently.
Mohan trying to work his way through the screen. Fires up for 3. No good as it rounds in and out.
Yeah, I think that it's been a little lucky for Ant Thomas here that he's got Mohan instead of CJ Green.
Every few minutes you see a little spurt in Thomas, a little pep in his step.
Yeah.
Trying to fight off, knowing that he's struggling defensively, he's trying to step up offensively.
Yeah.
Mohan drives up off the glass and good as again. Thomas being abused defensively.
Twice around the toilet bowl and in. Well, now they've waited long enough so it'll be both Savage and Green that come in at the same time.
Yeah, that's trouble. Thomas trying to keep it alive. Willie Leak snares it down, looks to push the pace here.
That's 2 boards for Willie Leak.
UK back in transition, able to help defense, but of course, go to the defensive liability once again. No offense, Ed. I love you, buddy.
Yeah.
But you're getting beaten like a rented mule tonight.
Yeah. No, this is one where, like, you have to look at this and question your life choices a little. Get some better help D down there, man.
Oh, miscue there. Somehow O'Meal comes away with it, luckily. Throws up the wild shot. Can't get it to go. Duncan up with the rebound. Quick outlet pass to Ellington. Ellington assesses the numbers, realizes he doesn't have it. Pulls it back now. Drives the other side. Pull-up jumper. No good. Jay Duncan there. Counting in one in the bigs from KU just eating.
I mean, that was another one of those where the big Quaker came out to try and help with the D on that when he needed to stay in and rebound. So, managed to make the first shot miss, but at what cost?
You know, one of the things I love about the big trees is their defensive prowess, but at the same time, they are slow as shit. So
yeah, if you get out of the paint, you ain't coming back.
That's the thing, and if you can sucker that big guy out of the paint, you will own the boards, and that's exactly what's been happening here for Kansas. Is they've pulled him out, and then they've gone to the defensive liability. So
yeah, I mean. It is a huge testament to the game plan that Kansas drew up that they have been able to this readily just keep going right to that single location and making it pay.
So what I want to know from you, and I feel like the builds might be differently, so I could be completely off because I don't know all the arcs, and I know you guys pay attention to some of those details more than I do, but inquiring minds want to know, did KU build this roster at the way Michigan is constructed because of knowing how well they've done with size?
Let me look. I have to refresh with what they've reloaded.
Yeah, I don't know the answer because, like I said, I haven't paid that close of attention to the archetypes across the league right now because I just haven't had a chance to, but
it is not built the same way.
Okay.
It is a very different set of
size.
Well, they have a lot of tall and a lot of fast, but not necessarily at the same time. Same way Michigan does. This still has a very cohesive identity, but it's just not quite as stark as what Michigan put together the last 2 seasons.
No, that's fair. I was just curious because I know the way Michigan is built, or has been continually built, the last couple of seasons. Their height has just proven to be difficult for teams, and we're seeing a little bit of that on the other side of it with KU tonight, but in a totally different way.
Right, they're still abusing the ability to play somebody versatile down and just make that height a problem. But in addition to that, it's just they've got a different set of aesthetics to do it. It's a similar result that you got to with a different formula.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Kentucky's not big. We know that. We can see that. 2 in the corner, no good. Wiersma, though, able to keep it alive, kicks it out to Savage for 3. Bang! And it's a 4-3 for Savage tonight. Cuts it to 4 with 1:19 to go. So Kentucky not out of this yet.
Nope. If they can get a stop and get a quick bucket, it's right back in it.
If Kansas is smart, they'll go to C.J. Green.
I mean, they've got C.J. Green on the outside, so maybe Ant Thomas is perimeter D, but now he's right back under the bucket.
Now they're going to go down low to Thompson with Savage on him. Green going to fire up a 3. He can do it from everywhere. C.J. Green for 3.
He can. He was... Unfortunately, Ant got lost. He spent too much time running around there, and you get lost, it's going to be an easy bucket.
So 23 points on the night for C.J. Green. Thomas going to go to Carter. Does not shoot the 3. I don't get that. He was there wide open.
I think it was the fact that his back was to the basket and he could hear Willie Leak catching up on him.
That's another block by Green.
Honestly, at this point, just let Ant Thomas sit down.
You mean he hasn't been sitting this whole time?
I mean, he's been on his butt, but not sitting.
Defensively, I feel like he's been sitting. That's another block from Green. He's just killing it right now. Too bad.
Shot clock violation, yeah.
Shot clock violation. Good effort, though, by Oatmeal to try to come in there and clear the house. This one looking like it's going to be over here,
and it is.
CJ Green said, "No, I need some more points. That's 25."
Stat padding, just a little.
I think so.
I mean, when you're the coach's son, you get to do that, though.
Yeah, Thomas trying to show his prowess from beyond the arc, but a big win from Kansas here, as they are going to probably run out the clock unless CJ Green just wants to add the cherry on top of the sundae. But I think it'll be nice.
I don't think even CJ Green will do that.
Willie Leak said, "All right, you've shot the ball enough, CJ. Let's wrap this game up."
I mean, huge win for Kansas, but
Kentucky double teaming them with like 10 seconds to go. A little late on that game plan.
Right. Honestly, though, the one I'd like to call out, great game for Kansas, obviously, but UK held strong, and they just found a lot that they can grow with and pull into the regular season. I know that the coaches may have slept on Kentucky some, but I think they proved that there wasn't as big a drop-off as some people might have feared.
By the way, Kentucky, to my knowledge, has beaten Kansas, but I think it was during my era, not during the Ant Thomas era. So, just saying. I think it was prior. No, I think we did. I think we beat him season 1. We didn't beat him in the postseason. We beat him in the regular season. So, 61. Excuse me. Kansas shoots 61%. Just incredible from the field. Like looking at this first quarter, they shot 68. 73 in the first quarter, which is insane.
Yeah.
62 in the second, so what did they finish at the half? 68%. Third quarter was all Kentucky.
Right.
And then in the fourth quarter, Kentucky just went back to the way they were playing early on, and Kansas just lit them up at 62% from the field. So,
yep.
Crazy game.
Well, I think the big thing for me that stands out is that it was 9 for 20 3-pointers for Kentucky. They are still living by the 3, dying by the 3, and today they died by it.
Yeah, I mean they had some big ones to keep them in the game, but there's just unfortunately the height just was. I mean, 62 points in the paint for Kansas is just insane.
And like the bench played well for Kentucky. They didn't give it up, but they just weren't able to contribute evenly. It was mostly the starters, like it often is, and they're just going to have to find something different. They need to compensate for that height.
Yeah, for sure. Tim Savage leads Kentucky 7 of 9, 4 of 5 from downtown. 20 points for Savage. I just think it's going to be a killer year for him. Colby Wiersma finishes with 13 and 3, also perfect from the field, 6 of 6. Bo Fazo, nice game off the bench. Like to see a little bit more efficiency from Fazo, but finishes as the third leading scorer for Kentucky with 11 points.
I mean, the fact that this is his first CSBA game ever, there's a lot of room to grow there.
Oh, for sure. He looked good off the bench at times. Struggled at times, but typical of a young player. Ant Thomas, 10 points, 4 of 16. Geesh. Minus 11, responsible for 18. Obviously, Thomas tried to do what he could, where he could, but defensively was just a struggle tonight. Mismatched all over the court. A lot of double digits here. 1, 2, 3, 5 guys in double digits for Kentucky, which is pretty impressive in a losing effort. You don't see that very often.
I mean, good team ball by them.
Yeah, for sure. Lyle finishing with 10. Shaquille Oatmeal 4-4. 2 big blocks from the big Quaker. Very quiet game from Marcus Carter. Something we usually expect to see more from him. Only 3 points. 1 of 4 from beyond the arc. 1 of 8 in totality. Rocket Webb with 2. His only 1 shot. And Ken Copeland finishing with 2. And Darnell Pope, the only person on the UK roster not to score. But your bottom 4 guys score, 7 points in totality. Or actually even one of your starters should score 5. That's not a lot.
Yeah, but also the lowest 3 there did what they were asked. Like,
yep, that's fair.
1 for 1. Yeah, they took what was called for them.
Yeah,
so
that's fair too. CJ Green, monster game, 12 of 13. 25 points, responsible for 31, had 3 tremendous blocks on defense on Ant Thomas, and they were all on Ant Thomas, poor Ant Thomas. But what a game by C.J. Green. Can't say enough about the game he had.
I mean, I'll give him crap for missing one of those shots. You should have been 13 for 13. Could you?
As you should. Shame on you, C.J. Green.
You're right.
Willie Leaf, 11-5-5. Carl Johnson, nice game. Double figures from the big fella. Hopefully we'll see a little bit more of that from him this season. Leonard Thomason finishing one shy of a double-double. 2 big blocks from him. He was very efficient, too. A lot of efficiency from the middle of this lineup here.
I mean, all of it so far. Nobody hasn't been efficient.
Yeah, for sure. Jay Duncan finishing 3 of 3. Very quiet night in Jay Duncan's standards, but finishes with 8-8, 2 points, 2 rebounds away from a double-double. Mohan, as you talked about earlier, struggled shooting the ball, but had some spurts, finished with 6 points. Jamal Williams finishing with 6 as well, 3 of 4 shooting. Shooter Kip, 4-1 and 3 dimes for Kip. 4 dimes for Ellington, as he only had 2 points. And Jafari Blackwood, 1 of 2, 2 points, 2 rebounds, and an assist. So, fun game to call. Some good highlight moments. Kansas going to win this one 84-75, ride a little bit of momentum into the regular season. Kentucky going to try to figure out what their makeup of their team is. I mean, they had moments of this game where they played really, really well, and had moments where they absolutely struggled defensively. So they're going to have to take a look at some things, especially if that becomes an exploitation for some teams against Ant Thomas with the way he played.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, the preseason is to test an identity, and the one that Kentucky was hoping to roll out doesn't seem to be it. They need to retool, find something new, and keep moving on.
Yeah, for sure. Well, this has been a fun one. Appreciate you sticking around. CSBA 33 in the chat. You guys are amazing, guys and gals. Appreciate you tuning in. Rylock, thank you for staying up late with me here tonight to do the second game as well. Appreciate you, my friend. 84-75. Any parting words before we head off?
Much respect to both these squads, and we'll catch you back here tomorrow bright and early for the rest of them.
Yeah, we'll be live in about 12 and a half hours or so. So
yeah,
Dick will be on the first game. I will be on the games at 1 and 2 o'clock. So make sure you guys tune in for that. Bring your bacon, egg, and cheese sandwiches to this computer screen and tune in and watch some CSB action. There's some good games on the slate tomorrow, just so you know. Just
huge.
Really, really quickly, because I think you guys are going to want to. When you hear the games, you're definitely going to want to wake up and maybe tune in for them. North Carolina, Ohio State, Baylor, the renewed Baylor, taking on LSU, and then Pitt versus USC. So definitely
all three going to be great.
Yeah, all three are going to be great. A lot of evenly matched games there. So make sure you guys tune in for that. Appreciate your Rylock. Everybody have a good night. CSBA out. Peace.
Peace.